Okay. Monster.
Attention, please.
Yo. 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 Yo.
Welcome to your Inspirational Astrology Horoscope for Thursday, January 11th, 2024. I'm astrologer Dave Palmer, the Leo King, here to illuminate the collective consciousness. Well, thanks so much for checking me out. Of course, if you're on YouTube or anywhere else other than High Vibe, make sure that you check out highvibe.tv. That's where I do my daily videos, my awesome shows that I do weekly, Deep Astrology, your Sun Sign Horoscopes, all of the awesome shows on High Vibe. Make sure that you check it out. Get the apps or go to the website, highvibe.tv. Of course, this is the new moon horoscope, and this is a big one. But before I do that, I do have a promo because I'll be at a big event that I hope that you all will join me at. It's going to be my 10th year there. The Conscious Life Expo in LA, February 9th to the 12th, a month from now. Go get it. You can go on my links down below in this video, or of course, I've got a link in my link tree, which is in my Instagram. It's on my YouTube. It's everywhere. But my keynote workshop this year, The Future of Astrology, going into Planet X and so much more, that's going to be happening. I'll be doing that on Sunday at the same time as Bashar. We're the two headliners at the end of the whole conference. But if you're going to be at the whole conference, don't worry. I'm on the astrology panel as well. So many other great astrologers on there. And I'm also doing Down the Rabbit Hole, my DJ party. We did that as a trial last year. I'm doing it 2 nights, Friday night and Saturday night at 10 p.m. And I'm also doing a post-conference talk. This one's going to be all about the secrets of mundane astrology. Definitely don't miss all of the things I'm doing there. I'm the most booked person. It's pretty crazy. I'm very blessed to be at Conscious Life Expo for 10 years and to be doing all this stuff. Really stoked to be here and would definitely love to see you. If you've ever been to literally the biggest spiritual conference in the world, you know it's the bomb. But if you haven't, definitely check it out. It's going to be awesome. There's my plug. And of course, I'll also be in Texas, April 7th through 8th with everyone at Team Light. Go to Team Light, check it out. We're doing, Rich and I, the Awakening Experience out there, and we're also both speaking, and we will be right where the total solar eclipse is going to be, and tickets are real cheap for that. Get them now before they go up. We're very blessed to even be able to be at this venue. It's an awesome convention center, and places have been booked out for years. So definitely we have the availability for you to come out and be part of it. Go to teamlightstore.com. Check it out. All right, well, let's talk about this new moon in Capricorn. I got to say, this is a very extreme one, and there's a lot of good to it, but also we have to remember the rarity that is with this, and that makes it more potent than just your typical new moon. All right, let's take a look at that. So, first off, I'm sorry I'm so small. I was teaching Hypergate the other night, my prophecy school, and I had to make myself small. There we go. Well, at least now that I'm big, Stephen Hawking won't come after me with this fucking creepy-ass fucking wheelchair and try and jump through glass to fucking see me all small like that. If you know any small people out there, beware. He's out there in the astral realms. So, let's just say this. Number one, new moon in Capricorn, 20 degrees of Capricorn. I like it. It's got some very tense and positive aspects. It's exact square the nodes that are sitting at 20 Aries and 20 Libra. So we'll be talking about this big crossroad here. And really, that's really what it is. It's a big crossroad. It's a big decision, Capricorn. And, with Capricorn, we've had enough of it, but the universe doesn't think so, because here we got Mars that's going to be an awesome trine to Jupiter in Taurus during this. So this is a really optimistic and awesome transit, especially with Mars exalted here. But we have to remember, too, the lunar eclipse that was in Taurus, the last one of this North Node cycle, that we won't see for, almost 20 years, a little bit less and change, was at 5 degrees of Taurus. So there's a lot here. We've seen Jupiter, that station direct here. We also have Uranus in the play, the only planet retrograde, and that is in trine to this new moon. But when I get back to that Capricorn energy, Pluto at 29:41. We also have to remember in helio astrology, we're at Pluto 29:57, 58. Like we're about to see actually in helio, actually see Pluto ingress into Aquarius at the same time that it's going to be on the 22nd. So we're going to see Pluto and the Sun, of course, conjunct in Capricorn for the last time in less than 10 days. I mean, like this new moon is about, I know we're tired of this Capricorn world. I know that it feels like, you might want to give up, but this is a big positive aspect coming in this new moon. We all think we can't solve certain problems or life can be difficult at sometimes, but the truth is, this is a nice new moon with that trine to Uranus. But it's stuff that you already have within yourself, stuff that's already been shown, stuff that already you have to put together. A lot of this Pisces energy we've been through and that we're going to continue going through for these next couple of years, with Neptune coming to 29 this year, all the outer planets at the end of signs, with Saturn also as well in Pisces. And because everything's here in Capricorn, that dispositing energy of Saturn's in Pisces, and Mars is in good play with that with a nice sextile. Saturn's finishing its separating sextile, of course, to Jupiter. But I will say this, with all this Pisces, it could feel like you want to give up. At the same time, too, I've been telling people on High Vibe, this week, especially, this is like the energy of like, what's that block between the pen and putting it on paper? That energy to go that extra distance. And really with the North Node here in Aries, and now it's approaching to its conjunction that we're going to see very intense over the next month to Chiron. You could even, I guess you could say this new moon's in square to Chiron, but really it's already separating. But I would say that, this is where the strong really make it in life. And it's about acceptance with Pluto. The accepting of, are you really at your best? Do you really accept your destiny? Now that destiny could be whatever is actually true to who you really are and what really is feeling in alignment, especially with Uranus in play here with that nice trine. What really fits? Or are you going against the spiritual grain and going with the reality matrix grain, which would be the worst thing that you could ever do? This is also, I will have the nerve and the balls to say it because that's why you come to watch me. It looks like the world's going a direction right now, and we have to remember that the U-turn ahead to the weirdest U-turn, or I should even say to a whole different road, the way in which we travel this whole journey of our life is literally less than 10 days away. So number one is that the systems, the way that we look at life, the way that we reflect back to 2008 with Pluto's ingress into Capricorn. I know that Pluto is going to be in Aquarius for most of this year, and it will retrograde back, of course, in the summer, and we'll finish it out by the election, post-election, a couple weeks after. But we're getting geared up here for the Aquarius transit, and this is a lot about preparation, understanding the acceptance of, are you really in where you're allowing the understanding of what's already been at play time-wise? You've already had since 2008 to go so deep. But the hard part about Pluto at the end of a sign is, it reveals always the deep stuff, the most repressed stuff at the end, very extremely. And so right now with Mars trine Jupiter, it's about looking at if you're confident, you understand where the universe is. It's not about control, but understand where the universe is for you, your destiny, your alignment, and you're open with that Jupiter and Taurus to bettering, to being more expansive with what you can be manifesting, what you can be creating, but it has to be on a path that feels divine. It can't feel like you're trying to push your ego and choose with Saturn and Pisces here. This is where a lot of the programming, the subconscious programming of how people are supposed to be, if you just look at all the wokeism, and it really did start in the 90s, when they fucking put Lion King up and fucking told you he was a vegan fucking lion. I mean, you should have already woke up from that, and Hakuna Matata and all this shit, and where it's ended up today. This is about understanding the laws of the universe. And do you fall victim or do you accept them? Victims want reality to go their way instead of the natural and easy way that the universe presents, puts you on a path, and especially there's a calling. Or this is where it's just you fixing problems because you really are not wanting to be open to the deprogramming that should have been taking place for the last 16 years, or you've been just blinded by your grip on society and obsession with it, which, by the way, is a society that was created 250 some odd years ago, right? So you're still the old, it's like you're like part of the wig party or something like that. You're still wearing a white wig. You still believe in it to look that way? Or you still believe in holding on to the way that systems, and the irony is the systems that were created came when they rewrote the laws, literally. They rewrote the religions. They rewrote everything. And all of that is where people are still attached to the old. This is the last plank of an old ship that still needs replacing. And I think that this new moon is offering an awesome aspect if you are willing to not so much get caught up into the identity of who you are, but the acceptance of we're guided when we're really in a place where we feel confident. And if you're having issues with confidence in your path, your journey, your career, your life in general, especially your destined feeling of life, well, it's about acceptance. Like you don't accept it. Or if you feel like it's all good, but you still have that weird Pluto energy that's sitting in the back of the room being like, time's up. Because time's up. This is the most Capricorn you're going to see for the rest of your life. Okay? Most intense. You're never going to, this new moon is, and then this week that follows, the Sun-Pluto conjunction at 29:59 of Capricorn. That's it, folks. You've already seen a Venus retrograde a couple years ago in Capricorn with Pluto, with Mercury retrograde. You've already seen Saturn, Pluto. You've already seen Jupiter, Pluto. You've already seen Uranus, Neptune. You've already seen since the 90s. Like you've seen everything you can see in Capricorn, and this is the end. It's also the end of the ideas of how society functions and works and the systems. The change in the U-turn coming is beyond our comprehension. There's too many variables now. And so it really comes down to acceptance. Pluto's very simple, although it can get convoluted by many, but it's simple. Like, do you know how to receive? A lot of people search for their destiny. It's not something that you search for. People ask me all the time, what got you into astrology? I'm like, well, astrology found me. Maybe mostly I would hope that people that found this video or find this horoscope or listen to it will realize that, astrology found you too. You don't go seeking for it. I learned that lesson when I was real young and I was a druggie and shit. And every time I seeked the drugs, it was always not the good shit. Anytime I wasn't looking for it, when the good shit showed up. Same thing with relationships, right? So this is really the attachment that we all have as a society and a collective. But more importantly, individually, you have to ask yourself a really deep question here. Because there's a lot going on. These square to the nodes by this new moon is really weird to me because, that means we're the farthest from the eclipses. We're in between the set we had in 2023 in the fall and the spring 2024 ones that are approaching, but we're at the exact midpoint. And we have to remember that, squares to are connecting points. That's what the nodes are. They're connection points. And we have to connect to that guidance of where, I was born with North Node Chiron. It's not an easy placement. It's one where you have to learn to accept as well. You have to accept the weird parts of who you are. You have to accept the weird things. And, in Aries, it could be hard on your ego, especially with Mars here in Capricorn. If you're trying to set the bar so high and get there right now. I'm sorry to say it's already been done. Mars trine Jupiter is helping us look into the future of do you actually understand the blessings that you've already been given? The blessings of being a human, the blessings of all your talents and skills, and how do you put them to use? That's what this Jupiter-Uranus is going to be that we haven't seen since 1940. That's on its approach in April to finally conjunct. But at the same time, that South Node in Libra, dispositing Venus, which is sitting here at 15 degrees of Sag, and pretty much fucking offline, not going to lie. Although it is kind of weird that it is making a semi-square over to Pluto. It's just actually finishing that one. And so those two don't get along. This is not about seeking candy or some belief system. It's not about a belief. It's not about a religion. That's the problem. You're seeing so many people right now just jump off spirituality and go to religion because they're uncertain with who they are and they're scared. And this is not a time to be scared. It's a time to pull from the deep parts of yourself of accepting of what your path is, It reminds me of Napoleon. He was actually born, ironically enough, with Pluto and Capricorn. And, that guy had it all, but he just wanted to push. He just wanted to go all the way into Russia. He already made it to Moscow. He already did it. No, he wanted to go to St. Petersburg, and then he fucking gets out, and then he tries to do it again, and at Waterloo, he's done. But we don't realize that the destinies that are being set right now are things that maybe are not about you. Right? If you think about Pluto and Capricorn, he was born in, I think it was 1769. And then he died at 51 years old on his Chiron return, which was in 1821. So, yeah, it was about 1769. He had Pluto and Capricorn. And so he would have been 5, 6 years old during the same transit the last time we had the reoccurrence. Pay attention to all parts of life right now and see that the impact that you have on the world and society is everything. Whether it's you're a parent, whether it's your friends, whether it's you inspire people in the world, or do you do any of that? Are you just a fucking slave to this fucking matrix? If anything, this would be your breakout, although the irony with the breakout with the Uranus transit is Uranus is retrograde. And it's not like something's coming to save you. You've already got the pieces. You got to put them together. And if you're just looking for Venus life right now, well, it's just not going to work out for you. This is Venus in Sag. It's dispositing Jupiter. Jupiter's in Taurus. It's with Uranus. And Venus is also being disposited by that South Node in Libra. And so if you look at the South Node in Libra, it's got Saturn making a sessi quadrant to it. And we're seeing now Uranus, which to me, this is a whole weird shift. Uranus in quincunx to the South Node, Saturn in sessi quadrant, the new moon square the South Node. Talk about disconnecting from fucking doing the same old bullshit and being with your idea of what's perfectionism, your idea of this seems more beautiful or this seems more chill. No. Being stuck in the matrix, being stuck in a reality where you don't have a calling, but you've convinced yourself, and the deep repression is you continuing to, clock in and out to the place you hate, clock in and out to the things in life you don't align with, that don't even feel spiritually aligned. They make you, what? Was it you that made that choice, or was it the matrix that made that choice for you? Because you opened yourself up to a matrix to be like, yeah, I'm going to work this shitty job. I'm going to work for the fucking government. I'm going to fucking... You really think that's going to pay off for you in the future that we're coming into in 10 days and for the next 19 years? No. This is definitely a time where we're going to have to all find our own talents, our own skills, and understand how we use those and find that individualism and then how we connect with people who see that within us, that we could build together with, that we could do things with, instead of you, well, I'm just going to just show up to this place and hopefully I'll find something there. It ain't going to happen. You're repressed. The idea of even the Matrix and being a pod person and that all, it really is about Pluto. It's about repression. And a lot of people feel like they missed the boat. And you know what? I'm not going to bullshit you. A lot of people did. That's what the lessons of 2014, 2015, especially 2012 through 2015, but that 2014, 2015 and those eclipses and that Pluto-Uranus square, it kind of reminds me of that. But this is like now with Uranus and Taurus and Jupiter here to be like, here's all the benefits for the people who broke out of the system, knew how to identify themselves. And that's really, if you look at those years, that's when social media broke out. That's when apps started to come out. And if you didn't jump on the trains and you didn't jump, I mean, good luck. A lot of people want fame. It's not about fame. You're going to be lonely there. It's about having a purpose that has a mission to it. It's not about just to get known. It's not about any of that shit. It's not about followers. And more importantly, I know that's more of like the more upper echelon. The lower echelon is, yeah, you're just going to be a nobody. And you're just going to follow what the Matrix fucking does. And you're just going to fucking follow all these rules that you didn't write. And probably were coded to just be that fucking in this Matrix. This is really weird because Mercury's just finally done with its square to Neptune, which for the last couple of weeks we've been in a square. So it's felt really weird. And with the South Node having so many very hard aspects, we have to remember that Neptune just finished its quincunx to the South Node that we were in the last 3 months of 2023 with. And it felt fucking like with all those retrogrades, like fucking nothing was going anywhere. Now it's Uranus shocking the shit out of you every time that you're trying to go into that, well, let me just chill out for a sec. Let me weigh it out a little longer. Let me weigh out and be a slave more. Let me weigh out and follow this whole diversity bullshit. Let me weigh out and follow all this crazy shit that makes no sense. Let me just weigh out more. Let me just see what's going to happen next. Pluto's about survival. Pluto's about exposing. And I know a lot of people are obsessed with wanting to expose things, but you really are not good at exposing anything until you've exposed yourself and you've exposed the matrix that you get stuck into, the life that really is just fucking bullshit, that you fucking actually repress yourself more and convince yourself even more and keep shoving it down. If you are dealing with any kind of situation, because we all are dealing with situations, but you're dealing with a situation that is beyond fucking the scope of you even wanting to face it, where you're trying to avoid it, especially because you're too afraid to make big decisions, you're too afraid to be an adult and be like, you know what, this is not spiritually aligned. I have the pieces, but I'm too afraid to do it. This is your moment to use this new moon. We're going to use this new moon, and by the next new moon that'll be in Aquarius that sets us off into the Chinese New Year, we're going to have Pluto in Aquarius. So this is the last new moon in Capricorn with Pluto in Capricorn. This is the last new moon in Capricorn with Mars in Capricorn, and literally also with both. But with Mercury now done with that Neptune square and coming back into Capricorn right after this new moon this weekend, we have to remember it's going to be a big Capricorn show, and we all have to have our popcorn out because even the asteroid Wuhan is on top of Mercury. There's a lot of really quick and developing situations that are going to start coming up out of nowhere. And we need to be prepared. The only way that you're prepared, go against the grain of the society and go with the grain of the universe. Stop fucking living your fucking pathetic life because you are too afraid to put the pen on the paper. There's no excuses with this Chiron and Aries and North Node. You are guided by the action that you take, no matter how weird it is. Like, I felt weird, I wanted to do something, and I did it, right? I mean, let's be real. I've been on this fucking, how long have you all been seeing me on fucking YouTube doing astrology? Forever. You know why? Because I've never stopped, and I fucking had no money, and I was fucking homeless, and go watch my first videos on the channel. Go to click oldest. It's super easy now, and go watch the first fucking 40 to 100 to 200, 300 videos. Okay? It wasn't like I had badass equipment. It wasn't like I was sitting in my own TV studio. It wasn't like any of that shit. But I remember being the astrologer back then, telling you that, writing the blogs, that this all was going to come to this end like this. Like, you either make it or you don't. Now, that doesn't mean you're not going to make it in Pluto Aquarius. It just means that, well, if you're somebody without a purpose in a lane, and especially a purpose that's more built upon the future, a purpose that you can see yourself, no matter where it goes, finding a way to fit in, instead of so gripped on the comforts of the way society feels, the comforts of how it's uncomfortable as fuck, let's just say that. But two, that's what's weird, is people have become repressed into some sort of zombie-like thing. And this is a new moon that, if you're awake and you're not in that space, this is really like realizing how much blessings that you have that you can keep putting together and keep going forward. And we're all dealing with stuff that's popping up, but if it's stuff that really can't be fucking figured out, if it's stuff like, you just have to fucking realize that, you know what, you probably don't have any authoritative skills within yourself, and that authority is always from the divine, but you don't even have the authority to give yourself the authority over to the divine. You give it to the control system. You give it to the control of you wanting to feel like control. So if you're an OCD control freak, this is the new moon that eradicates that from out of you, but it's not going to feel pretty, because the new intention is going to be, do I know how to surrender? Do I know how to realize that there's more to life than this stupid idea of a system, or this idea that really is what makes me feel comfortable, that I'm not realizing is surrounding me, that really is actually the most uncomfortable thing. We got a lot of things that are hidden that are still going to pop up. And, it's nothing that you're still seeing out there. Everything right now is happening way deeper than you can even see at this moment. And every morning, especially right now with the sun in Capricorn and on its approach to the Pluto conjunction, this new moon is happening, when it rises in the morning, it's got Pluto right behind it to rise right after it. And so this is like what I would call, I've been saying it's the red pill moment you have to take again. It doesn't matter if you've taken a red pill in the Matrix before, you got to take it again, because everything, timeline wise, everything in every way is changing. But you have to remember that it's so daunting that this is going to happen and haunting at the same time too, that this is 2959. And, you have to be prepared here. And at least the astrology is good for this new moon. You know why? That means crazy shit's going down. That over the next couple weeks, when we come into that full moon energy, that's going to be coming in Leo. You're going to be like, what the fuck? You're literally going to be like, what the fuck? And you could have been prepared. You could have started. Mars trine Jupiter, you should already be learning with that retrograde over these last 4 months of what's good in your life. What's the best place for you? What's wholesome? What has something that really can integrate into the world with? Especially if you are going against the grain. If you're following the way that everybody's following, you're in a herd. This is a time where, if you're looking around and you're trying to fucking just stay under the radar and go with the flow of life, you're being an idiot. This is where you take position in your life, preparedness for what's coming. And we've got where all the pieces have already been set. The whole chessboard was set in 2020 with all those Saturn-Pluto transits, with Jupiter-Pluto, even with Jupiter-Saturn. Everything's been set. The whole board game of this reality has been set up for this moment that's coming. And this is the new moon to it, to see it and put those pieces and prepare. And to ask yourself, am I living an authentic, real life that really is feeling like a divine purpose fully? Or are you just lying to yourself and saying that, it feels divine that I'm here at this place, even though I don't want to be here and I fucking hate it, because you were too afraid to fucking jump. You were too afraid to actually go to the place you really want to in your life. You were making commitments to the most incredible, retarded things of your life. I mean, this is really the transit where there's going to be a lot of people having freakouts, even though it's good. Because the freakout is, why is it starting to feel like it's good, but something's missing? Well, one, the only thing that I would say is missing is this weird, U-turn and weird unpredictability around the corner of the world. But in yourself, if you're fucking just trying to string yourself along at this point without any determination in yourself, what the universe has already brought you, what the greatness it's here to bring, and that you're fucking a champion fucking of whatever that you are supposed to be, that's divinely aligned. This is where we're all guides. Are you a guide? Do you inspire others, or do you just fall prey and become weak and become afraid to be that great energy? Being great isn't about the way that it's been sold. Being great is about honor, courage, integrity, character, but not in the way that it's sold to you by the media, not in the way that it's been sold to you by this, go be a good slave. Go be a good slave. Go be a good one. I'm going to go do this because I have to. You don't have to do that. You know, we've seen all the dark shit. You know, there's a lot of distractions. The more that you're going to go down a lot of these rabbit holes here, you're going to not like what you see, but a lot of it's been confirmed. All I needed to know was, well, I already knew, but just the fact that Stephen Hawking fucking was going for midgets on the island and fucking, but I've never laughed so much in my life. You know why? Because it's like that's where the entitlement comes in, right? People like that who, even if they are fucking retarded, but they say they're not retarded, are fucking retarded. That guy's fucking retarded. He already was retarded. I'll say it. And he fucking literally was fucking around with midgets, fucking on a fucking island, fucking with chalkboards. You really think that guy was living his divine purpose? And let's not forget, this is the same fucking guy who fucking tried to say, oh, all of us are going to die when an alien fucking, intelligence fucking finds us. Okay. The only alien intelligence that fucking found that motherfucker was the midgets that had to figure out how to get that fool off. Okay. That is some fucking alien intelligence right there. So you've been sold lies, lie after lie about this reality, lie after lie, 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 lie. You can use this new moon and see that everything that you've ever wanted your life to be is all based upon your alignment, based upon your acceptance of the false reality, your acceptance and whether or not you're going to bring something that's nurturing and loving and great for this collective, or are you just thinking that you're doing something great for the collective, but really you're pushing all the things that kill the people in the world. You're pushing all the things that really fucking make the world a worse place. You really think that corporate job's really fucking doing a lot of good for people? Unless it really is, you should really be asking yourself at this moment, because at this point, there's no going back. There's no going back. This is all forward. We have Uranus that's coming direct on January 27th. We have fucking the Sun-Pluto conjunction in Capricorn at 29:59. We'll see the Aquarius one next year, but we're going to see Helio-Pluto on the 22nd of January. We're going to see, of course, the next new moon will start us in the Chinese wood dragon year in 1 month away. Everything's moving forward. And if you're going to move forward at this moment, you need to have you need to realize that you've got this week here to really use this new moon and be like, let me truly fucking be honest with myself, because Neptune, that was in square to Mercury, when Mercury is still in its detriment and Neptune's at home, dignified in Pisces, all of the bullshit in yourself, all of your subconscious belief systems, all the programming, I hope it washed it all away to where you have no doubt. But if you have doubt and you're still hanging on all these fucking programmed ideas and all this fucking deception you tell yourself, this is a wrecking ball, and it's a positive one. It's a dark night of the soul for you, for sure. And you know what? This isn't a time to go try and convince somebody of what you see and what you already know, because you know what? The universe will do that to people on their own. The universe will do dark nights of the soul on its own. That's not your job, right? Don't become a mall fucking psychic and start running up to people and fucking telling them what to do, or running up to your parents, or running up to your grandpa, or running up to fucking anybody. I mean, like, you need to know this and you need to do that shit, because that is not how it works. This is about you focused. You're going to miss this, Capricorn. You're going to miss this shit. I know that we're tired of it. Just like you miss Pluto in Sag. That's when the education system at least had reached its peak, right? Everybody was traveling the world. Everybody thought that the world was just going to expand forever. Those days are over. Now we're at Capricorn. Who's tough? Who can make it to the end? Who can reserve enough? Who can do the hardest jobs there are on the planet? Spiritually, who can do the hardest things and hold the line and not lose it and not be a loser? You're not going to hear that from the other channels. They're going to give you all this flap and blah, 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 blah. I have no problem telling people that this is the transit that I've been saying for fucking 12 years on this fucking channel. That I've written blogs about, that I've done fucking, I don't even know, 15,000 plus videos about. This is it. You will never see this in your life again. You're going to miss Capricorn. You're going to miss having that drive and tenacity to do something that's bigger than yourself. Because it's going to get sloppy. It's going to get societally chaotic. It's going to get to where there's breakdowns in society. It's going to get to where there's technological ups and downs and revelations and not biblical. Human origins. You got to be... I'm not going to pick up... Let's say you work at a general store. We'll keep it like that. And you don't really like it. But you're just doing it to... If you're doing it for integrity purposes, I get it. But there's kids fucking having a blast playing video games, and they make they make more than you, and they're doing everything in their life, and they feel aligned. Whatever that alignment is, it should satisfy you. Pluto's about, the best part of Pluto is about satisfaction. And Capricorn's hard because it's Saturn's domain. And if you really can't wake up in the morning and if you're one of those people who are wishing for something, Capricorn's a reminder that wishes are not around. That the people who get their wishes are the ones who go for it. Period. Trust me, I sat there from 2009, 2010, and I played around and I fiddled around with astrology as far as like I was doing it every day and reading people and shit. But to actually like, and I was doing Soul Garden and all that. But by the time 2010 and 2011 came, when I went on reality shows and fucking was like, I'm a fucking astrologer, fucking owning this shit, and fucking started making fucking videos on YouTube fully, and then started fucking building my own fucking networks and apps and fucking TV studios, all while after being homeless. I can tell you that it's about a deep satisfaction. Like, can you ask yourself this big question on this new moon? Because if you're going to set an intention, the intention should be, am I leaving something that actually I feel fully satisfied with, that actually, you know what? My family, 5 generations from now, will be happy that will I be remembered? Or will you just be another name on an ancestry VR, or even maybe a chip, or who fucking knows, 5 generations from now? That's what's hard. Pluto rules death. So, not many people at death with Pluto Capricorn are remembered. You're just lumped up numbers at the end of the day of how many are dead on the battlefield, how many are dead fucking in the fucking intergalactic fucking weird dark being fucking bullshit fucking coronavirus lie fucking of all time, which I told you prior. You're just another number who took something that we don't know. We don't know what's going to happen, but I'm holding my heart for you. This is a new moon where you set the intention of being honest with yourself of where you failed. The best part of Capricorn and Saturn is admitting your failure. Where you failed and where you can be better. That's what this Jupiter and Uranus is about, because you'll be paid off if you're willing to be better. I can be better at a million different things, and I admit that to myself every day. If you're on high vibe, you already know that with all the changes I made to high vibe in this last couple months. But it's like, you that's all that you have to be willing to admit failure, where you're satisfied, where you're not. And that's the only way you're going to get anything clear. It's still hard with this new moon because Mercury's still in Sag. So I'm not going to lie. It's not a good place. Okay? Stop trying. I hate the astrologers trying to put this good energy on Mercury and Sag. Mercury and Sag sucks. It's too big of a fucking area for Mercury to understand shit. There's no facts. With all these planets direct, it still doesn't feel like things. But this new moon will make it start to feel like things are moving forward with Mars trine Jupiter. But again, that's for people who have substance, understand their fucking purpose, and are fucking bulldogs, fucking ready to fucking go. Anybody else who's still in the fence and la la land and doesn't know and likes to hesitate and can't put the pen on paper and can't fucking put the keyboard to actually make everybody fucking has a phone nowadays or a fucking computer. You fucking could have already made a #1 selling book. You could have already used AI and made websites, and now you can have it code and you can do everything. Like, you have no excuses anymore. You have no excuses. So set the intention to stop being an excuse fucking whore. Stop giving excuses for people like Stephen Hawking, who's a piece of shit retarded motherfucker who's in a fucking wheelchair who was going after fucking minors. That guy fucking is a piece of shit retarded person. But oh my God, he said all these great things about the universe. No, that guy fucking, who even knows if that was even fucking given to him? Was that guy even talking, or did they program the computer to say he was talking when he wasn't, just sitting there fucking retarded fucking? Especially if you look at Jeffrey Epstein and what I keep telling everybody, nobody wants to listen to me, is the New Mexico fucking house and the DNA. And he wanted to inject everybody in the world with his DNA and fucking implant all the fucking women and have his DNA seeded in every human being. I think that means that he would also want his crazy ideas probably put in fucking Stephen Hawking's little fucking computer fucking box and talk to people. Go look up his fucking first translator. How did that guy translate when he's just sitting there foaming at the mouth, fucking can't speak, and is just doing gibberish? Like blah, 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 blah. And then the guy's saying all these like crazy things. That people are fucking retarded. You know how much you've been lied to? You've been lied to so much that there was a fucking guy who they told the whole world was this smart guy and understood black holes and all the fucking gravitational theories and all the fucking theories and stars and all these fucking things. And this motherfucker is so retarded that he fucking literally is so retarded. I don't even know how they got him on the fucking plane. Good thing he had an electric fucking wheelchair. And they fucking wheeled him up on a fucking beach and probably put fucking went to Home Depot and got some wood at Epstein Island and fucking rolled him up to some fucking midgets, and they put him up high on a fucking chalkboard and to do puzzles. What kind of puzzles? And what kind of midgets? Oompa Loompas? I mean, like, we really, if that's the world we live in, you are at this point full stop retarded. That you are living in the Matrix life and you are fucking following all the shit and following the rules of the fucking life that was all a lie. They're not following the rules, and they fucking programmed you to follow bullshit rules that fucking make you a slave. Wake the fuck up on this new moon, and you have 9 days to change it. I know that's not a lot of time, and that's what's hard about Capricorn is the early bird gets the worm. If you just got into astrology just as in the last year or 2 or 3, you're already behind. You know what I mean? I mean, think about it. The astrologers that have been doing this fucking for a long time, they've been preparing you. You know, we benefited the most. Because we told you a long time ago. This isn't news if you've been following astrology for a long time. None of it should have been news. Unless you follow an astrologer that just feeds you bullshit 24/7, which at this point, pretty clear to see who is. The good news is, there's nothing stopping you from getting out of bullshit. That's what this new moon's about. And actually getting true satisfaction in your life and learning that, you know what? There's a lot to learn to accept. There's a lot to learn about satisfaction. There's a lot to learn about where you can be better, where you failed. The best thing you can do in life actually is to accept where you failed in order to get better. And also paying attention to the influence you're setting when you're not doing much with your life and your kid looks at you and you're fucking not like and you're a loser. Guess what? Fucking, they ain't going to be anybody. Because the best, I'll leave you with one last thing with Capricorn. What does Capricorn do? And North Node Chiron do? Sets an example. No matter how weird it is, no matter how much society or people don't understand it, they will eventually. And unfortunately, we're at a place where society's finally starting to get it now. Little too late. So we have to prepare ourselves with that understanding and integrity and to help people out in the future. And this Mars goes to the bold. This Mars goes to the ones that fucking make the mark, that set the fucking precedent of how the divine guides their life. And that's what North Node Chiron really is. It's the deepest wound of realizing that the human is guided by a divine force or is taken over and controlled by a Saturn force. That's why Uranus and Saturn deal very closely with Chiron, as Chiron sits in between both and orbits next to both. And we're on Chiron approaching Uranus. By the time we get into the 2040s in Leo, Chiron will be just outside of Uranus's orbit. And that's like the real like push out of the matrix for a moment. But unfortunately, you know, this is also as a society having to accept that there's a lot of things that are going to fall. But the main thing is to focus on the things within yourself, the people you love, the things that you cherish, because in many ways, a lot of things have to fall in order for us to fucking get back to our wholesome selves. Don't be afraid that some evil fucking cabal is going to take over the world and all that shit, because there is fucking nobody at the helm. That's the whole irony of this Neptune and Pisces and all the programming and the perspectives and all that shit that has been holding you back. Get rid of all those things. Focus on the awesomeness that you fucking are. You know what I like too about Capricorn? It's not just by leading by example, but it's by owning that fucking example and fucking learning to be not proud, but pat yourself on the back and know that that work ethic and that spiritual work ethic and that fucking that you do something that you're going to be known and remembered for, whether it's your family, whether it's in your community, because we're about to go into about deeper looks that there is no community. There is no collective. It's a bunch of fucking robots. So fucking, what are we going to do about fucking 70% of the population genetically fucking modify their DNA? What are we going to do? I'm not putting people down. I'm saying it as a human to other humans that are. What are we going to do? Pluto at the end is not fun. You know why? It's going to expose so many things that are not fun. And if you are in that place where you just want fun right now, well, have fun for the last 9 days before it starts blowing your fucking mind that the next 19 years are not going to be what you ever wanted in your little programmed puppy house, the same kind of way that they fucking told you all these things like Stephen Hawking to fucking all this shit. Like, are you really going to buy into that right now at this moment and double down? So many people are. It's so much easier to just not look than to actually look. You know, Pluto is the garbage guy. It's the sewer guy. It's the guy that goes down into the places most people don't want to go. Especially like, you know, ladies, I know that, you know, you ask us guys to go down in the shower and clean all your hair out, but to look at it, you're like, oh God. Like, you know, that's Pluto. Then right when you think that, oh, that it's not clogged fully, that's when there's a dead fucking rat in the middle of the fucking pipe that we've been smelling, knowing what the fuck's really there. By the way, if you did take one of those genetic modifications, they only tested them on rats during the year of the fucking rat. And fucking you're just a rat that was put in a fucking cage. All right. But I don't judge you, and I don't think you're a rat, but that's a good Pluto, like, you know, when the boss tells you suck, and I'm still patting you on the back because I know you can be better than that. All right. And that's what's going to be hard. I mean, as an astrologer, at least, I say the shit that nobody wants to say. I'm going to say it. Like, people are not going to be happy with the fucking shit that's going to be revealed. And it's not about the Epstein stuff's part of it for sure. And it's way more than even what's been seen. But what I'm telling you is, like, you are not going to be happy when the world starts figuring out and society starts crashing and starts fucking coming into clashes with each other about fucking holy fuck how deep the fucking rabbit hole really fucking goes. And how much that moving from the dispositor of Pluto from Saturn to Uranus is fucking earth-shattering. Literally. And how are we going to put ourselves back together? At least if you can start with yourself, we have a chance. And everybody's going to have to start being much more authentic. You can't be putting up a facade. Pluto is exposing all the fake people out there, all the people putting up facades. You know, the only time I learned about the name facade was when I was in drama. Of course, I'm a double Leo, sun and moon, or sun and rising, and fucking also Mercury and Venus and tons of other shit. But I'm just saying, I'm Leo. So, you know, I don't like to put on a facade. That's why I got into improv. Capricorn, though, is that fake, oh, I'm all tailored. Everything's all together when it's not. Stop being in that fake relationship. Stop being in that fucking fake job. Stop being in that fake, oh, I'm grid to society. Stop being, and especially I called it out. I've been calling it out on all these new moon horoscopes, but this diversity shit is fucking not diversity. It's racism. Stop looking at people by fucking color. Stop looking at people by fucking gender. Just look at people as human beings here. And that's why even when I bring up the shit about the genetic fucking altered fucking humans out there, I'm not looking at people that way. I'm looking at that still as a human being. But when we have a crisis in the collective, when now over half the collective experimented with everything still being so hidden, this Pluto Capricorn was about profit and gain. And because it's still here and this new moon is going to set it off for the rest of our lives. That the events that are going to transpire over this week after this new moon are going to beyond blow people's minds of setting the course of what the next 19 years is. And there's going to be more of those drops this year. But I'm telling you that you need to pay fucking close attention right now. That if you think everything's been uncovered, you just saw one little corner of the huge tarp over fucking fields of shit that you don't even know about of this reality. So that's the irony about Pluto. And whoever they're propping up as a savior is never the savior. And whoever they're propping up as the evil one is probably not as evil as you really think. There's always somebody behind that person and somebody behind the fucking person that this is the savior, and just as much as the fucking evil one. So at this moment, I wouldn't be attaching to some sort of political person right now and getting lost in it. I wouldn't be fucking doing anything like that because you don't know what the fuck's really underneath all that shady shit. There's a lot of shady shit happening right now. Let's be honest. They fooled us so well, we all fucking think we're spending money when it's just numbers on a fucking computer. I mean, come on. I mean, people really are. This North Node Chiron is not going to be fun either. You know why? Unless you're born with it, which is very few people are on the planet. It's a very low percentage. I think it's close to like 3 or 4% of the whole world. We live our whole lives with North Node Chiron understanding that we're weirdos. And that's what makes us great. We feel like, you know, we have to sacrifice a lot in our lives, but really it's not a sacrifice as much as it is because we were willing to do the stuff other people won't do. That's what Chiron is. Chiron does what Zeus won't do, what Poseidon won't do, what Kronos won't do, what Uranus won't do, what Jupiter won't do. I already said Zeus, but what fucking Mars won't do, what fucking Hermes won't do. Sacrifice and do something from immortal to mortal, back to immortal, and be a guide. And people don't want to do that. Believe it or not, the mortals on this planet believe they're immortal. And that's the problem. We're all here with Pluto to remind ourselves that there is mortality. And that our spirit is immortal. And the spirit that we connect to as a soul. Most people get that one confused. And, you know, if you're identifying as this immortal person right now, well, that's nice. If you have a physical reality here that you got to deal with, and that a lot of shocks are going to shock you. And if you think that we've seen shocks, we still haven't seen. That's still the tester. What do we got card-wise? 4 of Wands reversed. So, well, I don't think it's about what is some destination to look for again. I keep getting this channeled message. Stop searching. Stop looking for the end all be all. This is where I need to go. It's always an empty void at that place. And I do feel that, stop looking for the celebration. You should already be celebratory for what you already have. If you're looking for another separation, it's because you have a hole in yourself. Got the Strength card. Yeah, this is those that understand the awesome power that comes to us, that's from the divine spirit, that's from that energy of how to use our power, to use our talents, to use our most greatest skills in a proper way, not too much, not too little. And knowing how to go the distance, but it's about integrity. It's a card that mixes that Virgo, and if Regulus is in Virgo, it's the ones that really know how to do the spiritual work. Some might look at it as the meek, but if you really think, oh, I work a normal job and I'm meek, and I went and took a vaccine because they told me to, that ain't meek. That's entitled. I feel entitled. I'm going to join a team that's going to demonize humans that are choosing to not take an experiment. If you think that shit's just going to be let go of, it's not. Because not so much of what happened to us that didn't choose to do it, because those that did it are going to be dealing with things that are going to scare the shit out of them, and it's stuff that's not even been talked about yet. We're talking stuff people would never even dream of or even think of. And I hold every day my prayers for the collective. I continue to. At this point, if you're that fragmented in your mind to not be able to accept the excess deaths in the world that we've seen, that Pluto and Capricorn still here on this new moon, with Mars trine Jupiter. Mars trine Jupiter and Capricorn and Taurus is pretty simple to me. It's like those who are willing to explore what actually is happening, that actually can be better for our life. And every answer I get for humanity, because that's what I do on this channel, is fucking a collective fucking horoscope, which you see people doing all over the place now. That was not fucking cool. I had so many astrologers at UAC 2012 tell me I was a fucking idiot. You can't do mundane astrology for the whole collective, like as far as like spiritual and evolutionary astrology. Like, you can't do that. I'm like, what? But what I look at it as is like, fuck, man, like the greatest thing that we all would want to have in this planet is a deeper understanding, as Jupiter's looking at Uranus that's about to conjunct, is how is the collective going to heal and be wholesome and find something of value in all these crazy situations that are happening. If you're so hidden under the covers with your life, and I don't focus on that and all this, when you're watching your fellow brothers and sisters around this whole fucking planet die off, have fucking turbo cancers out of nowhere, have fucking all this crazy ass fucking shit happening, their fucking babies are coming out fucking looking like they're fucking not even a human being, weird, thin, weird looking, more miscarriages than ever been recorded in history, more fucking everything on every level. Are we really gonna, am I gonna just sit here on this channel and fucking just, well, I've never shut up, I've never fucking stopped, and I won't stop, because I'm gonna wake you up out of your slumber even when you were awake. You need to take the red pill again. We all do. And I hope that you do. Because at this point, it's the end. You will never see this new moon in your life again. You will never see a new moon. You will never see the sun and the moon ever together in Capricorn, period, with Pluto there ever again. You will never see it with Mars with Pluto ever again. And they're not even going to meet in Capricorn. They're going to meet in Aquarius. So, and we're approaching a Sun-Pluto in between this and the next full moon, and then, of course, the next new moon, which starts the Chinese New Year. And, you know, again, I didn't emphasize the nodes enough, but this is squaring the nodes. This is a huge turning point for humanity. And the realization that humanity is Chiron. That the key to unlock it is not going to be what many people are going to want to do. that we really fulfilled the destiny in some sort of way over the last 4 years to cripple humanity. I don't think it's a coincidence we see something like Stephen Hawking pop out of the Epstein thing so crazy, because it's a reflection of humanity. I appreciate you all. I will see you all on High Vibe. Get off YouTube. Get off the program. I'm unplugging. It was nice to be with you YouTubers, but I'm on High Vibe. I'm going back to the fucking Nebuchadnezzar. Goodbye.
Monster.
Attention, please.
Yo. Okay.
Attention,